Welcome, coaster spotters, to something completely unrelated to roller coasters, but something that I really wanted to see for a while, and it's my channel, and I can do what I want. But I also think it will be really interesting, and I believe some of this will have a little bit of a crossover, since this is Kinzua State Park. This bridge was originally built in 1883 and reconstructed in 1900 to allow for heavier trains. Originally, at its tallest point, it was 301 feet tall. So for you coaster people, think about a Millennium Force. Unfortunately, in 2002, they noticed that there was a lot of corrosion to the support columns where they attached to the footers, and they were in the process of actually correcting it. Unfortunately, a tornado came through before all that work can be completed, and the structure partially collapsed. Since then, they have reinforced the sections that were still standing, and now it's a skywalk, and we get to go across it. So as I said, 301 feet tall and about 2,000 feet long. When it was built, it was the tallest railroad bridge in the world. Continued to have traffic cross it until 1959, and then 4 years later it was bought by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and turned into a state park. In 1983, tourist trains resumed service across the bridge as a tourist opportunity, and obviously continued to cross the bridge until it collapsed. And what's really cool about it is all the structure that collapsed still remains at the bottom of the valley. We will be taking a very tiresome hike, I believe, down to the bottom of the valley, so about 300 feet down, which isn't really too bad actually for some. But come along with us, Alex and Ariel, as we take this little adventure. As I said, it is railroads, it's trains, so that kind of is, that's how I like trains when I was little, and then I found there were trains that did ups and downs and loops and inversions, and kind of morphed to that, but I've always been interested in engineering and trains and all that stuff, so this is something that, being in my home state, I should have visited years ago, perhaps before it collapsed, but...
Don't come here if you're scared of heights.
Oh no, do not at all. Imagine, I don't know how high we are at this point, but it's significant. And we can see the pathway, looks like downwards, and looks like we can even cross the Kinzua Creek down below. And then the very cool thing here at the end of the surviving portion is a glass bottom.
I'm not okay with this.
Yeah, I want Parker and everybody.
This is absolutely incredible, and the fact that we can go all the way down there, basically among all the steel and mangled remains, is going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm sure the majority of visitors who come here, like 90%, just walk to the end of this bridge, and that's it.
Will they try and go down and decide? No.
But that's not the way we do it here on the Coaster Spot. If I ever decide to do any more non-related coaster stuff, we will always take you to the views that have to be seeked out. Like, look forward to when I went to the Nova Scotia a year ago, and I filmed the video and never released it. So if, let's say 100 people watch this, I will completely make that video as well. So hit that thumbs up button, do a comment below. Tell me if you like this different footage occasionally from the normal coaster stuff. Hey, can you just repeat what you just said right now?
I don't think it's going to be that hard coming back up, because it's only stairs. I mean, it's a lot of stairs, but
Fast forward an hour from now. Alright, I'll explain to you what was here and what was not here originally. So, the footer originally only went to here, and it was only this portion. So all this concrete here was poured around it, and then these giant bolts here with these steel blocks were added to much better anchor it down. Alright, we are now at the bottom of the valley, crossing the Kinzu River over this really neat bridge. So imagine the bridge would have been that tall. Alright, so we're at the bottom here. Absolutely amazing views. Oh my god. We gotta come here during the fall.
yeah, and you said during a blizzard.
A blizzard would be really cool, but that would be really hard to
Drive it.
We'd have to like basically be like, hey, it's blizzarding tomorrow. Let's hope you get called out of work. We need to go now before we get stuck in southeastern PA. Because we'll definitely get stuck up here. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and all this is still here. All the train tracks fell over that way. So you might not see any train tracks, but they're most likely there. They might have scratched some stuff, but highly doubt it because it was a state park before it fell. So there are probably a lot of rules and regulations and restrictions about moving anything from it. So these are obviously roller connection plates. So the structure could actually roll a little bit to the left and the right. I mean, it looks like it was just yeah, it just had like 1 or 2 bolts to connect it to. Very inadequate. And it was built, these connection plates were built for the original wrought iron bridge. And then, you know, not 13, I think 17 years later, the weight of trains increased pretty much by 85%. So the wrought iron structure couldn't hold it. So they switched to a steel structure, reusing the footers, the anchor bolts, which I think even the designer, when he was still alive, said that was probably a bad idea. And 100 years later, it was a really bad idea. In a way, it makes it much cooler that it's collapsed like this, and you can visit it and go among the remains At the same time, it would have been nice to have visited when it was complete. But then again, there are bridges that are this tall. I can't believe it was just held in by 4 little bolts. It's no wonder they sheared after 103 years. No, 120 years. And the concrete piers themselves eroding. That is really cool and terrifying. As you can see, they did nothing to disturb this. This is the steel rails coming off of it. It's actually quite strong and flexible, so it's not that surprising that it's just bent like this. It's also probably maintained a heck of a lot better than the bridge itself, since it did have rail travel for scenic excursions up until basically the day of the collapse. So, there it is. And there's the other side of the bridge. That's going to do it from the Kinzu Bridge. Just a little diversion. Love doing it. Hopefully you liked it. Thank you so much for watching The Coaster Spot. This has been Alex. Like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more relevant things on the channel coming soon.